The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Fight Club at Jets camp earlier today. Jets X Factor's own Robby Sabo was there. He recaps today's events in Florham Park when he joins us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed for a historic season. We bleed Jets green each and every day. This is not the same old Jets. We have Aaron freaking Rodgers. We have Garrett Wilson. Let's go. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinnen Williams. The Jets bandwagon is loaded. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Big shout out to all the Asmaniacs who each and every day tune in for daily Jet content. A lot to talk about on the show today, but major announcement I want to hit at the top. The Jets already have announced that tomorrow's practice open for the fans is unfortunately canceled. It's rescheduled to August 20th. So if you have tickets to training camp for tomorrow, they're now good for August 20th. That said, our event tomorrow night at Don Jose Mexican Restaurant in East Hanover is still on. So if you planned on going, if you RSVP'd, just note 7 p.m. tomorrow, nothing changes. Come hang out with me and Richie from Jets Media. RSVP with the link in the description. If you plan on joining us, let me know. If you plan on stopping by, if you can, RSVP. With that being said, a lot of Jet news to dive into right now. And to do that, we bring on someone who was at the Jet facility earlier today watching practice. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of JetsXFactor.com, Robby Sabo. Robby, what's going on?
Yo, Chipotle won't be mad. You're going to Don. what is it? Don San Jose?
Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. And get this, it's a listener-owned Mexican joint in East Hanover that Nick Mangold and Rex Ryan are regulars at.
Okay, I mean Mangold. If Mangold goes there, actually,
that's when you know.
Scratch that. Mangold goes everywhere. So I'm sure it's quality stuff though. But yeah, the Chipotle CEO. I wouldn't be surprised if you get an email. I know that's
well. Here's what I would say to him. Where's my sponsorship?
Fair.
Yep.
Fair
indeed.
And, I didn't see Dana White there today at Florham Park. But, holy jeez, Jake. What did you hear so far?
All right, so let's kind of get right into it. Were you involved in any of the scuffles at the Jet practice today?
I jumped down there for a little bit, but it's like when Moses parted the Red Sea, Michael Clemens, they all looked at me and quickly said, "Oh, I don't want any of that smoke." So I was not involved, but 3 major scrums. I mean, and it was so. The first one was like the third of a team, so it was a team meeting. It was so big. In other words, you couldn't pinpoint who started it, basically. And that was the first one that really got it started. Funny moment, the DJ was on top of it playing. We are family. Excuse me. We are family. After it was broken up and they were going to the huddle. So that was solid by him. A couple plays later, messy pocket. Rodgers steps up in the pocket, fires it to Garrett Wilson on a vertical near the sideline, covered great by Reed. Inside placement, not a great throw, but to make that throw, first of all, was tough. And Garrett, they fall to the ground. He has to come back to the ball because it's not good placement. Reed's not looking. So it's one of those where Garrett, it's akin to a guy going up to dunk the ball and feeling like his legs get taken out. So you feel uneasy. And I think that's what Garrett felt. Reed did nothing wrong. Tempers were still flaring at that point. So that was the second one. And the third one, again, I don't even know who it was. Hopefully someone else got it. But it happened at the trenches a couple plays later, and another massive scrum. Right after that one, Salah said, timeout, blew the whistle, got everyone at midfield. on bended knee and basically said, let's cool it down. And they pretty much did. So I think it's a positive. I mean, early August, everyone's sick and tired of seeing each other's ugly faces and hitting them. So to see the passion up and down the depth chart, I think is a really good thing.
Yeah, Salah said afterwards, getting chippies fine. It's just being responsible to one another. This happens for every team every year. Think about it. It's 90 degrees. You're hitting the same guys over and over again. I'm surprised it took this long, to be honest, for a day like this. And get ready for more on Thursday, oh, by the way, because you already know there's going to be several of these when they take on a different team for the first time. Happens every year, especially in these joint practices. I think every time I've gone on Twitter the last 2 days, the Giants and Lions are brawling again. So that's going on with their joint practices. The Jets and Commies are going to, I'm sure, have the same thing on Thursday.
Commies. It's not like the Jets haven't had scrums already this summer. They have, but nothing compared to today. And I think there'd be a problem if there was nothing all summer. Like, there'd be a problem if today didn't happen at all. So this is a good sign to me. I mean, the major thing to worry about is injuries. That's pretty much it. If I'm a coach, I think the positives far outweigh the negatives, which are injuries, the increasing chance of injuries in a scrum like this. The positives are passion and getting at each other's throat and compete level, and you got to have it. So if any of the coaches were secretly trying to spur this on, even at the behest of Salah or in spite, tip of the cap to them. I'm not saying that happened, but it's been known to happen in coaching staff circles.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Shout out to the 230 of you watching live. Let's get over 200 likes. Appreciate everyone for your support. Let's talk about some things that actually happened besides the fights out there. I was seeing a lot of people raving about the practice Breece Hall had today, Robbie, including you on your Twitter account. Would you see from, in my opinion, the best running back in the AFC, and maybe by the end of the season, especially now with Christian McCaffrey dealing with a calf strain, not rooting for injury, but just saying week 1 could be in doubt for CMC, for those who didn't see that news earlier today. Just saying, Breece Hall, thoughts on him? He might be the best in the league when it's all said and done. What did you see from Breece today?
Yeah, I mean, fantasy owners out there, I'm sure there's a lot of them listening. McCaffrey's due to slip back down to where he was a few years ago when he was still in Carolina. He gets injured. So, that's not a guarantee. And I think Breece might have a better season than him. That's one. Number two, he's running the ball great. Again, it's tough because it's not live, but he's running the ball great. It seems in sync with the line in terms of the concepts they're running. And in terms of the concepts, it's more mixed. I know I talked about, and Fialco talked about it probably too, a lot more gap principles, man principles, as opposed to just zone. There's a healthy balance, but the receiving game, I mean, we know he's a stud catching the ball. He put up those stats last year. One particular play today, there was Rodgers. Breece was next to Rodgers in the shotgun, sort of offset. And what they did with him in motion pre-snap, it wasn't a crazy motion. It was subtle. And it put him in a place more like college where you see it. And it's still unique for college. But it put him in a place where he could have more room to the inside to go right out on a route. We'll call it a Texas route per se, and just abuse the one-on-one coverage. I didn't see who the defender was. Some people are saying Clemens dropping. If that's the case, it was a zone. But whoever it was, it doesn't matter. No one was going to cover that. The way he stemmed it, Texas, you don't really stem it. You just go out, and then it's like it's effectively a slant. I love it. I mean, the look they provided with him doing things with him pre-snap, Rodgers puts it right on the money. Ball only traveled 3 to 5 yards in the air, yet it could have went for 40, 50 yards downfield with rack. So he is going to be a major weapon.
We saw it in the scrimmage too. They featured him a lot. I mean, Breece last year led the NFL among running backs in receptions, and his offensive coordinator admitted after the Giants game he wasn't aware how good he was as a receiver. And I don't need to remind Jet fans who played quarterback for Breece Hall last year. So, like, to me, if he's healthy, Robbie, we're talking about a guy who could be in the Offensive Player of the Year conversation. That's how special this guy is. I really believe that.
Yeah, and part of the problem, other than what you just mentioned, is they ran, I don't know if they were the most in the league, but it was top 5 in terms of screens run per game. And the reason why they tried to go that route is because the offensive line stunk. The quarterback stunk. So what do you do if the offensive line can't block and guys are going past you anyway? Try to become a screen team. And that doesn't give Breece the best chance to break it in the open space. I mean, on off chances, it does, but not routinely. This is a much different way of getting him in the offense. What we saw in the green and white scrimmage, what I saw today, it's specifically designed for Breece instead of Breece fitting in with general schemes.
When it comes to the other things that stood out in this practice, I was seeing a lot of Jets defensive line having their way with the Jet offensive line. Yeah. What happened there? Break that down.
It's not something I really saw, to be honest. There are instances when certain D-line players flash, and it's noticeable, and it's obvious because they go with a finesse move, they swim, they rip, they do whatever they have to do to get to the quarterback, and it pops off the page. That's not to say they won the rep, because we don't know what their role was on that play. We don't know what the situation was. Were they supposed to be more responsible in the rush lane? There's a lot that goes into it, in other words. And would I say the D-line beat the O-line today? Yes, I would say that. First of all, Tyron had a veteran day yesterday. I think he had stiffness, I think Salah said. And he was in positionals today, individuals, as some call it, but not teams. So right. Tyron wasn't out there. That's number one. Moses is still getting his legs under him. So I'd say the D-line won, but I don't think it's anything to be crazy about.
Yeah.
Nothing in that vein.
Well, they're really good, even without Reddick. We'll get to Reddick at some point here because, 15 days in, he's still not with the Jets. But, this is kind of what you want. Some days where the offense wins, some days where the defense wins. That's a sign of a really good team, which I am confident, at least on paper, the Jets have a really good team.
I think those sort of opinions come out of pretty much just watching pass pro. When I'm watching rushing concepts, there is space for days. Like Breece Hall Braylon Allen had a rush off the edge today where McDonald got pinned inside. Like there are a lot of instances where the O-line dominates the defense in a rushing scheme. So I wouldn't go too far. Maybe pass pro, the D-line had the better of the play today, but it's nothing crazy. I think it's par for the course.
You look at like the state of this offensive line, I think we all feel good about it going into the season, assuming everyone's healthy. Going into training camp, we didn't expect to have a narrative surrounding the center.
Yeah.
And he snapped the ball. How was Joe Tippmann today? I'm not worried. I want to make it clear I'm a Tippmann guy. All right. He's a friend of the show. We love Joe Tippmann on this program. But how was he today snapping the football?
Well, what do you think the temperature is with fans? You know better than me because you've had the Asmaniacs. What do you think it is right now with that?
I don't think anyone's truly concerned. It's like, all right, let's get it under control here. But I don't think if it's happening at the end of August, I think there's a right to be concerned. But I don't think anyone's that concerned about Joe Tippmann figuring this out.
Yeah, agreed. And today was a positive step forward. There were no errant passes where it was over Rodgers' head, where there was no errant snaps that blew the play dead, that crushed the play. In other words, not every snap was perfect, and you can't expect everyone to be perfect. I mean, somewhere to the left, somewhere to the right, but nothing where it destroyed a play. So that's a positive step forward. And previous practices, I mean, there were only 1 or 2 per practice, if that. It's just that it's so noticeable, and it's such a fundamental thing that people get on it and think of it as a concern. At one point, Tippmann went in the tent today after one of the scrums, and we were thinking, did he get hurt? But he was fine. He came back out. The other thing is Rodgers, this is the first time they're working together, and every quarterback has his preference on how he wants the ball to come to him. It varies. It really is different. So Tippmann's trying to get that under his belt as well. And I like the way Salah's handling it, not drawing attention to it, not going crazy, letting them fight through it, because it's a mental thing. There's some technical things you could do to help fix it, but it's a mental thing. He's thinking about it too much. And this is where Aaron Rodgers comes into play, because Rodgers joking around, camaraderie, doing his thing, that's going to help big time. And since the green and white scrimmage, after stretches, they break into positionals, but I know today and yesterday, they break into broader positionals where they're specifically working on snaps. 3 centers, Tippmann, Schweitzer, and I don't know who the other, maybe Newman. I'm not sure who the third guy is with 3 quarterbacks. So they're working on it for 10, 15 minutes at the start of every practice.
I'm going to skip ahead to this super chat because it's on topic to what we're talking about. We'll get to all the super chats coming up here as we talk with Robby Sabo. Gusbuster hotline is open if you want to call in and ask a question to Robby as well, who was at practice earlier today, which was more Fight Club than a Jet practice based on everything we heard out in Florham Park. Gator writes in, us fans want to know, if Tips gets the yips, who's in the bullpen? Well, correct me if I'm wrong, it's still Wes Schweitzer as the backup center, right?
It's Schweitzer. And I think they need to seek out another interior offensive lineman somehow, some way. It's not easy. These guys don't become available. But with ABT's injury history and, Tippmann's questions, even though I'm not worried about him, they only have one reliable guy behind the starting 3, and that's Schweitzer. So I think they need to find a guy, but Schweitzer is that guy. Yeah, he's number 2.
I'd still want them to bring back Connor McGovern.
Me too. I would do it as well.
I'm not saying to knock Tippmann. Like, I'm concerned about him snapping the ball. I've been saying this since, March that they should bring McGovern back.
Yeah, I mean, the salary wouldn't be crazy. We just don't know McGovern's situation. Where is he at in life? Is he
healthy?
Is he healthy? Is he actively seeking a job? We don't know. But that would make the depth chart look really nice on paper.
Another guy I want to ask you about, because I've seen multiple people note this. I saw it in person on Saturday. Now, twice. Jamien Sherwood looks unbelievable. Man. He is a starter on a lot of teams in this league. Your thoughts on what you've seen from him?
Tremendous. You were there Saturday, so you saw the one where it was perfect coverage, either Conklin or Lazard in the end zone.
It was Lazard. Yeah, it was beautiful.
In the end zone, turned his head at the right time, maintained contact the whole time with Rodgers throwing the ball. That's what he's been doing all summer. And today he flashed twice, once with a thump on Braylon early in practice in open space off the right side. It might have been the play I was referencing before where the O-line did a great job. And it's funny, Ludacris was playing Get Out the Way, that song. So I think I said to someone, I think Braylon and Jamien were inspired on that play. It was a loud thump. And then again, Sherwood running step for step with Lazard down the sideline on a play. Rodgers overthrew it. Then again, it's tough to call it an overthrow based on the speed and based on how Lazard got held up. Probably an overthrow, but it was close. But the call out is running step for step with the receiver. I know Lazard's not Mecole Hardman or Tyreek Hill, but still, he running step for step with the receiver is an incredible weapon.
Once again, Jets coaching staff on defense is really good at what they do. Here's a guy that was a safety they drafted, converted into linebacker, and now every day we're hearing about how good this guy has been. You look at his tape last year, he flashed at times. A lot of people don't realize it. Jamien Sherwood's going to be a damn good player. He's a free agent after this year. It's one of those things where you hope he could kind of fly under the radar one more year so you could keep him before he hits free agency, like what happened with Ashton Davis a year ago.
By the way, that's a good comparison, good call out. Ashton's been, to me, he doesn't stand off the page. He doesn't pop or flash, but he's been great this summer. With Michael Carter hurt, they're putting him in so many different positions. I mean, basically it's, slot DB and safety, but there are different positions within that group, within that subset. I mean, there's this solo high safety, there's in the box, there's linebacker, basically. I mean, in some spots, I'm not going to give it away, but he's playing almost a linebacker box type guy against a personnel set on offense, which has me scratch my head. Like, they're playing big nickel against this. It makes no sense. So Sherwood, Ashton, kudos to Douglas on that too. I can't believe it's his 4th year already for Sherwood.
Yeah.
I had something else to say, but I forgot.
That's all good. Tom Ace writes in, I prefer Moneymaker by Luda. I know Robby Sabo concurs.
I don't even know what the hell he said. What?
He's giving you a different Ludacris song.
Oh, is it an old Ludacris song or a new one? You got to film.
Does he have new ones? Does Ludacris still put out music? Dude, I think it's all old at this point.
Dude, I'm trapped in the 90s. Early 2000s was my heyday, was my last time. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Douglas. Give Douglas credit. People said it at the time. Why draft 2 linebackers who are converted safeties, Sherwood and Hamza? The reason you do that is because you have a vision in your mind to get that guy, that safety type guy who grows a linebacker. You get 2 because the chances that you just draft one and he hits are low. So if you get two, one hits, your money. So that's sometimes a draft strategy to grab two, and it worked with Sherwood.
Can I tell you my ludicrous experience? I saw him in concert when I was in college. He performed at Slope Day, which is an event, on the campus of Cornell in Ithaca, New York. And it was one of the worst live performances I have ever seen. And I've watched V-Man perform on the show many times. It was that bad.
Yeah, the bar is low, my friends.
It was so bad. I like Ludacris, or I thought I did, but seeing him live, it was a train wreck. It was terrible.
I think he's the type who got into Hollywood and the acting and left all the music stuff in the rearview mirror, it feels like, right?
It was not great. This was about a decade ago, so maybe he's improved. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this was not great. Not great at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. Submit your questions for Robby. We got a bunch of them that I'm going to pull up here. Hit the like button. 330 of you are tuned in right now, which is awesome. Great to see that number continue to skyrocket, but only 115 likes. So if you could do me a favor and click the thumbs up button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, trying to get the 40,000 subs by the Jet opener, which is now under 5 weeks away. Let's go, baby. Speaking of which, I saw Rich Samini in his observations today. He noted that Aaron Rodgers did a lot of, quote, coaching, chatting up a number of teammates, even on defense between series. At one point, a handful of offensive linemen gathered around to listen. Your thoughts on Rodgers seemingly taking on more of a coaching role in today's practice? What did you see?
Honestly, I didn't notice anything differently, and I think that's a hat tip to Rodgers because that's the norm for him. I mentioned Tippmann before, we did, and I said they're handling it the right way, letting it play out, trying not to put too much focus on it. Because if the green and white scrimmage, bad snap, if you pull them, my first instinct was, man, Salah has been doing good. I like the accountability, pulling guys when they make a penalty, when they commit a penalty. And that happened with Moses yesterday, his first day back in teams. Why not do it for Tippmann? And then, I thought about it, and I think it's the right move not to do it, to let him play through it, because you got Rodgers. He's got these special handshakes. You've seen it with Sauce, smoking a little substance. At practice, to start practice yesterday, he did a chest bump with Wes Schweitzer. I think I caught it on video if you want to check out my Twitter. So him not just coaching, but yucking it up with the boys and having a good time, that also helps situations like this, like a Mackie Sasser or Chuck Knobloch type situation, not letting it get to that point. So yeah, good call out by Samini. I don't think I saw that part where that he saw in terms of isolation coaching moments, but I see it from Rodgers all the time. I lost sound.
My mic was muted. Do you hear me right now? All right. I was just reading Rich's tweet here. He noted that Rodgers was 9 of 16, 3 sacks, had to deal with some pressure. On one play, he made a nifty throw across his body to find Isaiah Davis. He did a lot of throwing to running backs. We know Breece is going to be involved heavily. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
What did you see as far as just Rodgers' kind of mobility today? It sounds like he's healthy, right? Is that the big takeaway? He looks like Aaron Rodgers. He's moving out of the pocket. He looked great when I saw him on Saturday in the scrimmage, just moving around, buying time with his feet. Like, he looks like a guy who'd never suffered an injury. Is that fair?
That's fair. I haven't seen one moment in teams or 7-on-7s where I said, oh man, that's not the Rodgers I'm used to. His mobility is fine. And, I'm a bit surprised that the messy pockets, not that the pockets are messy, but the messy pockets have gotten close to this man at times, dangerously close. He got his foot stepped on. I don't know if that was the green and white scrimmage, but he got his foot stepped on maybe before the green and white scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a couple days before. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. One of the public practices. And, he's overcoming it. He's moving around. He's flushing left, flushing right, stepping up. That DJ Reed, Garrett Wilson fight, he had to step up in a messy pocket, made the throw a little off. 9 of 16, Samini said, that checks out that I think about it. But I'd say a handful of those incompletions were experiment reps where he's not going to make the throw in a live environment. He's making the throw to keep the play alive and get more work out of his teammates. And that is just one of the many signs of an elite quarterback who understands that every play in practice is precious. And, if you have pressure and it's messy and you tuck it and flush, what are you gonna do? Run for 5-10 yards and blow the whistle? No, you experiment with a throw and you try to make something happen. It improves you, it helps you, while also helping your receivers and targets. So take it with a grain of salt, those stats.
Will McDonald, seems like for the second day in a row, he's put together another really good practice. Your thoughts on what you have seen from the McDonald these past 2 days?
I mean, he could win one-on-one finesse. He could absolutely do that. The problem still comes down to rush defense, and especially rush defense in the 4-3 in the base. And, they released their unofficial depth chart the other day. Clemens is number one end, as opposed to McDonald. It really means not much, the grand scheme of things, other than he's not yet ready to play in base, and he might not ever be based on his body type. And that's okay. I mean, Saleh said it the other day to the media. You shouldn't expect that with some guys, because the way they play defense and rotate, some guys are going to be specialists, like a Huff, like a McDonald.
Yeah, but you didn't take this guy 15th overall in the first round from not to eventually be in your base defense. Maybe this year you could get away with it because you have Reddick. You're all in to win, assuming they get Reddick. But, come on.
That's the point. That's the fair point. And, there's no rebuttal to that. So if you want to go on that point, hey, I agree with you. But the reality is, I don't think he'll ever be a base guy. I mean, we'll see. I mean, maybe he could really put on weight and figure it out to some degree. But it brings up another point, watching him in practice, because not all edge players and pass rushers are created equal. There's finesse guys, there's power guys. Huff, for his speed around the edge, he was more of a finesse 2 power guy. Like, he'll make a finesse move, but then try to move the defender. So I think the Huff Reddick swap does a lot of things in terms of versatility. It means McDonald's not the only finesse guy. Reddick is ahead of him as a finesse guy, and it means they could convert a lot more sacks. So I'm kind of getting off topic, but think about it like that, Jets fans, where they needed that balance. Reddick in for Huff, even though Reddick's still not here, obviously.
Xavier Gipson returned to practice today, still listed as the starting slot, still listed as the starting kick returner and punt returner. I think regardless of what happens with Malachi Corley this summer, I think Gibson's going to start the year as the team's starting slot. Gibson being back out there, your thoughts on what you saw from him today?
I think fans might not like this, but I think the 3 starting receivers you're going to see on ESPN, the overlay in week 1, are Garrett, Mike Williams, and Lazard. Gibson's going to be involved. He's going to be number 4. Him and Lazard are going to switch on and off. Right now, obviously, Gibson's in the mix with Lazard and Garrett. And after the injury, when he was out, they rotated. You saw a lot of guys. You saw Corley, you saw Elzayat, you saw Brownlee. They rotated, and some guys took advantage. Gibson comes back, no rotation. Those 3 guys are locked in with Rodgers. It seemed like today, at least. So week 1, I think it's going to be Lazard, Mike Williams, Garrett, with Gibson getting a lot of time and Corley having, his 5 to 7 special packages. He's going to be in the mix. So Gibson looks good. I think he has a nice rapport with Rodgers, but how that breaks down, slot. And I think, by the way, Gibson plays some slot, but Garrett Wilson is their slot. Money down, nut crunching time, they switch. Slot outside, Mike Williams will be outside. Lazard, Gibson, Garrett could all play slot. But Garrett, by far, is the slot guy, and we've seen it this summer.
They need Mike Williams back, though, if you're going to play Garrett Wilson that much on the slot.
Listen, I hear you. But Garrett, it's more of a Rodgers Garrett thing as opposed to a balance the receiving corps thing, I think. Because when you need it down where you have to have it, you want Garrett in the slot to work opposite or alongside Conklin, because he and Rodgers, their mind is right on par and they read the defense well. And from the slot, you got to have your guy who reads the defense the best, because it's not just sideline and defense, it's defense. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, people go nuts sometimes when I say Garrett slot and people think, oh, slot number 3 receiver. That's not the way it is. Cooper Kupp is the slot Rams receiver. And before Puka was here a couple of years ago, Kupp was the number 1 receiver and slot. that's Garrett basically. But we'll see how it pans out.
Look, I love the idea. I think, I mean, look at Devontae's year in 21 with Rodgers throwing it, how often he was in the slot. I just think you really need Mike Williams to balance out this receiver room right now. I know Lazard had another good day today, which is encouraging. Is it fair to say at this point, 2 weeks into camp, maybe Allen Lazard never lives up to the contract he was paid, but he is at least a competent number 3, number 4 wide receiver as long as Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball to him?
I think that's fair to say. And I also think it's fair to say there will be more rotation amongst the slot, meaning Garrett will get more outside reps if there's no Mike Williams. But if there's Mike Williams, he'll be more in the slot, and they'll still rotate. They'll still be all over the field. But it surprised me. He's playing slot a lot without Mike Williams back. So we'll see what happens.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line for Robby Sabo. Programming note: the summer drop for the Jake Asman merch store is Friday morning at 9 a.m. We're adding shorts, slides, sandals to the store. Also, an entire line of clothing for the 4% female demographic. Logoed t-shirts in pink, on hoodies as well, in the Asmaniac logo or the Jake Asman Show logo. And if you have a pet, how about a dog? A doggy bandana also being added to the store as well. Plus new hoodies, the all black logo being added on shirts and hoodies, jakeasman.com. Patreon members get 15% off on every item. So if you think about buying merch, well, join the Patreon because you're basically getting Patreon for free. Let's get back to the conversation right now with Robby Sabo. A couple of super chats are flying in, so let's get to it right now. Mark Ferraro writes in, I'm keeping Hall in fantasy. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Is it a keeper league, Ferraro? You gotta give us the details.
If you got Breece in a keeper league, man, must be nice.
Yeah, the only rounds you win, I don't know.
Breece is a top 3 pick in fantasy this year, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
top 5.
I guess every round you'd keep him. I mean, if it's first round, it's tough. Like in our league, the league I run, if you want to keep a first round pick, you forfeit your 8th round pick. So
that's it. I feel like it should be more punitive than that.
Well, here's the thing. If you keep a first round pick, you're done. You can't keep them the next year because it goes down 2 rounds each year.
So you only do it once. I see.
It's a game you play like to entice people. Hey, you want to keep those studs in the first round? Fine. You're not going to get the late round guys. You're going to let them go back and you're not going to have them forever. So it all depends on the rules and the context. But yeah, man, you're dynasty, you're rolling with Breece. You're looking good for sure.
If you're playing fantasy football or you want to play fantasy football, we need 3 more people in the high stakes Asmaniac League. Make sure you join the Patreon and then message me on Discord if you want in. The league is sponsored by Full Time Fantasy and Circus Sports. The winner gets a free entry into the Las Vegas Fantasy Football Championships plus a boatload of money. It's a $350 entry fee, Asmaniac. So it's a high stakes league. I'm in it myself. We need 3 more people to cap the league at 12. Standard fantasy rules apply. So if you want in, make sure you message me and get involved in that league because those spots are going to fill up, I'd imagine, in the coming days. The big fella with a super chat. Jets finally caught up to fans' anger. Been chippy as hell in Asmania. Jets beating 49ers. Great pick of you and Carly last night, bro. LFG. Let's start with the first part. Jets finally caught up to fans' anger. I love that. So you think the fights today, big fella, represent the anger that the Jet fan feels being a Jet fan? I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's wishful thinking. It's nice. It certainly matches for sure. But you got to understand these guys. They're walking. It's not 2-a-days like it used to be. Like whoever read the Junction Boys, what Bear Bryant used to put those boys through back in the day. Even when I played in the 90s, 2-a-days, 9 to 11, and then, 1 to 3 or 3 to 5, depending on the day. You're walking around like an old man in between sessions. Day 2, 3, 4, you just want to kill somebody, and you're just sick of seeing each other. Like, get out of my face, dude. You're just sick of seeing them. So, man, I'm happy. I'm happy about it because you want to see that passion and emotion, and I think it comes at the right time. Like, there are certain things that happen in camp where the timing feels perfect. It's happening right before an off day. Well, it's not an off day for them, but media is not going to be there tomorrow. It's happening right before the scrimmage. So I think that's perfect. And we'll see what happens on Thursday.
Jets beating the Niners. Look, sign me up. I think they could win the game. But now that you hear the news that Ayuk is seemingly more likely than not to be traded. Christian McCaffrey is dealing with a calf strain. He's not going to play in the entire preseason. His status for week 1 is certainly in doubt. You combine those two things, you start to think, are the Jets going to go on the road and make a statement to the entire league on Monday Night Football?
Well, I mean, absolutely they can. Again, look at the rosters. Christian McCaffrey. Who knows? I mean, we'll see. It's I don't know, Salah too, his homecoming. He's going to be pumped up. The players are going to be, they love Salah, for all the question marks with his strategy stuff and his scheme stuff. The players love him. So we'll see.
We will see indeed. Also, as far as the picture of Carly and I last night, Robbie, I met the manager of the New York Yankees, and I told Aaron Boone, the World Series is back on. I told Skip, I'm like, look, you raised your Q score benching Torres. Job well done. He laughed.
I saw a WFAN clip, Evan and Tiki on YouTube the other day, power ranking the GMs in New York. Evan had Cashman number 2, and I know Boone is in the picture, but I immediately think of Cashman because does Boone make the lineup? I don't even know. Do you think Cashman should be number 2?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy.
I want to be fair. He's not as bad of a GM as some Yankee fans make it seem, but you can't put him 2 right now.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. So the rationale was, you got to make the playoffs. So Douglas, even though he's got a great roster, he's down there like ranked number 7th. I think they're not grading on a curve enough. I mean, Cashman has the resources. He's been here for decades. They should have had much more success than they have.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't been to a World Series since 2009. They're good every year outside of last year. They're a playoff team, but like we're talking about the Yankees, man. You're judged differently. It's just the reality.
Yeah, there's no way he's ahead of Drury. It's got to be Leon Rose and Drury 1-2, honestly.
Yep. By the way, Jet fans, where I was last night was I talked about this on the first show today, was the Talking Yanks event they did with Aaron Boone last night. It was at T Squared Social. So my friends at T Squared were nice enough to invite me to go to this last night, check out an event in person before our event on August 17th. So I could tell you, T Squared's awesome. I've been there before, but I've never played their simulators before. Last night, played the football simulator they have. I played the golf simulator. I'm terrible at golf. Let's not talk about that. Played the baseball one, basketball. They have every sport. It's awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to party with all of you. Food is tremendous. We're going to have Asmaniac drink specials, I was told last night. So make sure you RSVP. It's a free event, and I announced this earlier. If you're a Jet fan, you got to be there because I'll tell you why. You got a chance to win a signed football by number 5. G-Dub, Garrett Wilson signed football is our big giveaway we're doing that night, thanks to my friends at ESPN New York. So I want to make sure that we promote that. All right. We'll get to your calls coming up here, and let me get caught up on some super chats. We are seeking channel members. We need more Asmaniacs. Right now we have 0. There's a suggestion here from Tom Ace lobbying for a Robby Sabo emoji. I'll tell you what, we get enough memberships. I'll add a Robby Sabo emoji somehow. It's just going to be Robbie's like delicious, luscious gray hair.
That's it. I was just going to say fox. Gray hair and all. It has to. I will only sign off in the likeness if the gray hair is on point. That's it. It's my only request.
D, our guy Devin writes in, thank you both for amazing content. Must keep Joey 3 legs. So we got a big time Joe Douglas fan in Devin. Look, they got to win this year. But I think if you're being fair to Douglas's tenure, he has built a damn good team. Now it's time to win, right? Last year, they all got mulligans. We understand what happened. This is the year they got to win, Robbie.
Agreed. And it's one of the strangest GM regimes in New York sports history. Let's be honest. How often does it happen? That a guy doesn't make the playoffs, has this type of record, and is still hanging around? Very rarely. But the fact of the matter is he's done a tremendous job. When you look at his bust rate compared to most GMs, bust rate, exactly. I said it. It's very good. Like, guys will bust. Ozzie Newsome had busts. The best GMs in the league had busts. Problem is Zach Wilson and Becton, quarterback and left tackle. Becton happened during COVID. Zach Wilson a year later, and those didn't hit. So that's the major issue right now. But other than that, man, there's another issue. Head coach choice. Did he hit or miss on that? And that's the thing that's going to sink or float him this year.
Yeah, well, it also comes back to, your plan to make up for the Wilson pick was Rodgers, and we never saw him play for the Jets outside of 4 plays. That's the reality. Like, if last year they were a playoff team and didn't win the Super Bowl, we're not talking about firing the coach and GM. It's like, all right, it's a big year, got to take another step forward, but their seats aren't as hot as they all seemingly are going into this season.
Yep, absolutely. It's been such a strange trip for Joe. But at the end of the day, it's either not going to work out or it's going to work out in a way that he envisioned, because when he came here, he demanded 6 years. I think it was a fight between, when I say fight, negotiation between 5 and 6, and he wanted 6. Why? Because he knew how bad it was the decade prior. Never drafting a lineman early in the draft, not injecting that in there, the mess in the front office. Idzik and McCagnon. It was brutally awful. So they're right on the cusp. They just got to get it done.
All right, quickly here from Devin. I'm going 28 touchdown Island. Let's go, Dre. 20-0. 28 touchdowns for Garrett Wilson. Sign me up for that. All right, I'll take 14. I'll take half that. I think every Jet fan should too. Mike D's Nuts with a super chat. My birthday is 8/8, so I'm picking 8 fights on Thursday. I'll tell you what, 8 fights in a joint practice, that'd be wild, but happy early birthday to the great, the incomparable Mike D's Nuts.
What was that, middle name D's?
Is this Mike D's Nuts?
You bet your ass it is, Leanie. Ladies and gentlemen, a channel membership has finally come through the pipeline. Thank you to Devin for gifting a membership to listener Chico Andretti. You are officially an Asmaniac. It's only $5 to pay it forward to your fellow listener and help us get more emojis, bonus content, and everything else we offer channel members here on YouTube. Robbie, are you ready for some phone calls?
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gusbuster hotline is open, and I'm excited to hear from this guy because I've been messaging with people in the know for updates on his health. We told you the story that he unfortunately had to check himself into the hospital dealing with issues with his feet. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in a long time, Bob from Vermont.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course.
Bobby!
Hi, guys. How you doing?
We don't care. We don't care how we're doing. We want to hear about you.
This is the first I'm hearing about this. What happened?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I'm just doing good. I'm doing good right now. I just got my shots for my insulin, and I'm gonna have dinner soon. And then my toe is getting checked on. They still have to see what kind of infections in my toe, so they haven't got to that yet. So.
Well, I hope you get better soon, Bobby. We were worried about you. I spoke with Nick though and Gator. They gave me the updates. I messaged you on the Discord. I don't know if you saw it.
Gator said hi to me. Called him up today. Mm-hmm. And Bonesy right after Nick. So doing good. I have to shave still. Look at me. Oh.
That's okay. I don't think you should be worried about that.
Yeah, Bobby.
Hi, Robbie, my friend.
I can't even grow facial hair. I can't even grow facial hair, my friend. I'm jealous.
Oh, that's my nurse over there. Say hi.
Where is she? Hey.
Hi, Bobby's nurse.
What's your name? Brittany. She's a very nice lady.
Hi, Brittany.
Yeah, she's hooking me up to some antibiotics.
Whoa.
Calm your freaky down.
Bobby, what happened?
Put it in my IV, knucklehead. Stop.
She put it in?
Calm your freaky down.
Don't listen to this. Okay, now you're embarrassing me, Jake. You're going to get it when I see you on the first game of the season. You're going to get it.
I can't wait, Bobby. I hope you make it to the first game of the season. You got to get healthy first.
I am, definitely. That's in September. I should be fine by September.
That's good.
Bobby, you should ask her to...
I can't be there August 17th, though. I can't be there.
Bobby, is the nurse still there?
Why?
You should ask her to wear one of those hospital gowns, where it opens up. You should ask her to slip into one of those.
No, Robbie, you behave yourself. Jake, you're getting him saying that.
I think that's a nice
Robbie,
request.
how was camp today?
Hold on, Bobby. I'll do
Calm
it.
your freaky down.
It's dude, it was hot, Bobby. I'm drained. The sun is getting to me.
How was my Allen tonight? Today.
He was good.
Brendan Allen.
Sherwood. Hey, Bobby, Sherwood popped him in open field, but Allen didn't fall.
Yeah.
It was just a loud collision. Like neither guy fell off his mark. So
Yeah.
Allen looked good. He looked good. But what happened? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Why are you in the hospital? What happened, Bobby?
Because of my infection in my toe, I said. Because I wasn't taking my medicine as usual.
Did you call a tow truck?
Oh, that was a crack. Play the drums, Jake, for that one.
I don't have it ready just yet. You're making a lot of demands.
Okay, well, goodbye. Have a good day, everybody. See you later.
Bobby, what's the timeline? Give people an update. When do they think you'll be out?
I don't know. We have to find out what the thing is. They still haven't found that yet.
All right. Make sure you listen to your nurses, okay?
24 days. I am. That's what I'm doing. And you embarrassed me playing the freaky down. Okay, I wasn't doing anything. So everybody have a good night. I'll see you soon.
Bye, Bobby.
Be well, Bobby.
We love you, Bobby.
Okay, you too. I love you too. Bye.
Get better soon.
Well, I need to walk more to survive unless Jake is going live. Gotta elevate my leg on Bobby.
That intro there, or outro in this case, is basically why Bobby's in the hospital. Damn. He wasn't walking, wasn't taking his meds, so now we got to get him back on track.
That brought me down. Man, I had no idea. Like, I learn all the news when I'm on live. You know that, right?
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
Bobby, get well.
Get well, Bobby. All right, keep us updated. I love that you called in. And he called in under the name Robert Woodruff Jr., so he's very serious when he's in the hospital. He's not Bobby Midnight.
Nice.
In the hospital. He's Robert Woodruff Jr. Get better soon, Bobby. We love you. A couple super chats here. This one's from Addison, who says, we love you and hope you get well soon, Bobby. Bobby, make sure you read the chat. A lot of well wishes for you. A lot of great messages. People using the Bobby emojis. Make sure you see everyone in the chat wishing you well. Michael checks in. Get well, Bobby. We need you at your best. Seriously, man. We need Bobby at his best with the orange chair in the parking lot at the Jets home opener on September 19th. That's the bottom line. Just for fun, writes in, I'm just tuning in now. We talked about CMC's calf strain. What are the chances it carries into week 1? We have mentioned it. And yes, it is certainly on the table. He's not ready for the opener now, for sure.
Dude, I mean, calf strain should be the bane of Jets fans' existence. I mean, Rodgers, that's what happened to Rodgers in OTAs last year, leading to the Achilles. So you never know with calves. They're a tricky bunch.
It could be 2 weeks. It could be a month. Who knows?
Calves you need both calves to play football. I'll tell you that.
And I'll tell you what, if he's not at 100%, they're not playing him because they're, as much as they want to win week 1, they've been in the Super Bowl, the last couple of years. Their goal is that and not, necessarily making a statement against the Jets in the opener.
Who's their back? Do they still have Elijah Mitchell or did he move on?
Actually, it's a good question. Let's find out who.
Jeez.
49ers.
I can't remember. My fantasy draft is in 2 weeks, by the way. I should know this, but.
The Niners backup running back right now is Elijah Mitchell. Yep.
Okay. He's still there. And then Mason's probably number 3.
So there you go.
Yeah. I mean, Mitchell's solid, but he's always hurt. So McCaffrey getting hurt is not a good thing for them. 3 siblings Jay throwing up the Bobby emoji for his 6-month free as Maniac super chat. It only looks like it's a real emoji if you're watching in the chat, not via StreamYard, which doesn't have the technology to show the emojis in the comments. So to everyone in the chat, you see the Bobby emojis that are flying off the shelves. Speaking of flying off the shelves, how about Dick Chimney's burner checking in with a super chat? Or excuse me, a channel membership being gifted. Love it. The recipient of Dick Chimney's blessing is Nicholas Carnavella. So congrats, Nicholas. You're now an official as Maniac. Whoever gifts a 5-spot of memberships, I have a brand new piece of production that I'm going to play on the show. I played one of them earlier. We'll play more of them if we get some more memberships. One of them involves Neil, who I think is watching live right now. So I'd love for Neil to see what I have cooking for him if someone is able to throw a 5-spot of channel memberships in the chat for the people. A couple more questions for you, Robbie. We'll get back to the calls as well, but these were written earlier, so I want to kind of rapid fire through them as quickly as we can. John LG wants to know, how did Stiggers do today? You know what's funny? It was more of a quiet day for Stiggers, which is uncharacteristic. I mean, he's usually flashed at least once a day. So today, not much, to be honest. And that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could mean he was pretty tremendous in coverage, but I could have missed something easily. But overall, solid body of work. I think he's a lock to make the roster.
Snowball writes in, question for Robbie. How often is AR checking out of plays at the line?
Yeah, such a great question, because you noticeably see it. That's number one. Number one is you noticeably see it, because this early in camp, with other quarterbacks or young quarterbacks, you don't see it usually this early. That's the way it went down for Darnold. That's the way it went down for Zach Wilson. And the reason is coaches don't want it to happen sometimes, because they have situations planned out for that drive, for that session. Okay, well, we're going to run cover 3 on defense and not tell the offense, and this is the script for the offense. They give Rodgers freedom more often than not, and you see battles going back and forth between Mosley and Rodgers, with Adams in the defensive backfield also chiming in. So he is checking in and out. It's noticeable, but he doesn't, and no quarterback would have free reign in practice, in training camp, that is, because you got to work on certain situations.
Dano wants to know, does Robbie type out those incredibly detailed practice notes on his cell phone?
Twitter you're talking about, or the website?
Twitter, when you give long, detailed breakdowns of practice.
Yeah. Everything on Twitter is from the phone and at practice in real time. And I got to start bringing a notepad, because I take notes on Google Docs, but it's so freaking hot in Florham Park at that time of day that my phone shuts down. It gives you the warning, your phone is overheating. Give us some time to turn it back on or whatever. So usually anything from the site is at home on the computer. If you go on JetX, there's an article recapping today. And everything from Twitter's on the phone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we asked for it. We received it.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Here we go. A 5 spot from Darth Crypto, M. Tomey, Ray Perez, New Q, Blitz Got Beats, Jay Brown, all officially channel members. Welcome. All right. More questions for Sabo, then back to the calls before we wrap with Robbie. Stack writes in, Robbie, how has UDFA Harrell from Miami been looking?
He's the receiver, right? He's caught
Yes. Well, that's not a great sign.
No, well, but I do remember him catching a couple passes. I'm just trying to remember. The days run into each other. I do know he's made a couple splash plays. I think 2, but I don't remember the circumstances. I'll try to think about it as we go along. But in other words, he's made some plays, but not enough to separate himself from the pack. For example, El Zayat, I think, has been much more noticeable. Obviously, Malik Taylor. McCutcheon has probably outplayed Harrell. So he's doing his thing. He's doing solid, but not nearly enough.
Curly wants to know, is the Discord just for Patreon? Yes, it is. It's separate. So join the Patreon, and you get your discount on the merch store, bonus shows not on YouTube, your name in the intro, this show on either Apple or Spotify if you want it that way, all that and more. For less than a cup of coffee. Man, I had Starbucks today. Cost more than 1 month of Patreon.
Yeah,
outrageous.
Man.
Outrageous.
Yeah, it's the same as JetX. And I think we're probably the same price, JetX and you guys. It's inflation, Jake. What are you gonna do? Inflation is just, let's kick it to the curb. Yeah.
Oscar wants to know, where does Robbie get his haircut? His hair always looks crisp and sharp.
I do it myself. I ordered a kit from Amazon, and it's called Slick Barbers Lounge. Shout out to them. And the reason why I'm shouting them out in Florham Park is because Mangold goes there. He used to be a regular. He still might be a regular. I got to ask him. And I think I'm going Thursday because I'm in desperate need of a haircut. Slick, S-L-I-K, Barber Lounge. Anyone near Florham Park, Morristown area, Florham Park, Livingston, whatever, check them out. They're tremendous.
More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton is on the line. Hello, Kyle.
Hey, guys. Good content today. If I was just coming back from a honeymoon with Olivia Colpo, I hope I'd have at least a mild calf strain.
Yes, so true.
That is well played, sir. Well played. I still got to do it, but well played.
Calm your freaky down.
Yeah, you guys were talking about Joe D and some of his track record and bust rate and stuff. I think it's markedly better on the defense. Some of the guys that he's picking in the late rounds, you're getting a lot of good depth with the cornerbacks, with the safeties, with the linebackers.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not really getting anything on the offense, and that's something we want to watch this year. We want to see the development of Ruckert. We want to see the development of Max Mitchell, if he makes the team, and Carter Warren. So this is a key year for Douglas with regards to that, and of course, he's married to Saleh, so we'll see how Saleh does with some prosperity. The other thing I wanted to mention was Reddick. If they actually find him that $300,000 from this escalated clause that went off this past week, he's coming up to just under $1 million worth of fines at this point, out of whatever it is, 14 and a half. Like, something's going to have to give here in the next few days, right? Am I wrong, or?
No, you're not wrong. But I mean, they could waive it. I don't think there's anything against the CBA.
They can waive the 300,000, but I don't think they can the daily 50,000. I don't think they can waive. So
correct. They can't waive the 50K a day fines. The other CBA one that's like 300K, whatever it was, they could waive that if they want to.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm trying to remember what Saleh said in a presser last week, and I can't remember. I think that's in other words, he's staying away from it as much as he can, but he can't avoid the questions. I mean, they're going to come. So I agree with you, Kyle. Something's going to have to give soon.
All right, guys. I appreciate your time.
And also, Kyle, real quick, you're right about the stark difference between offensive and defensive talent. But consider one thing: how much can the offensive players develop with no quarterback and no O-line being injured? So
it's a salient point. The one thing I would look for is a little bit of development from the offensive line, because that's supposed to be Douglas's strength. So
true. And the other thing to consider, man, Saleh. I mean, I have my questions about him in terms of scheme and strategy and being more chameleon-like with the game plan, but there might be something with him being the next Eric Mangini type, where he's a great personnel head coach, if that makes sense, because it feels like, and I know Gase wasn't here a long time, but it feels like Douglas has been better with Saleh as opposed to not.
Very good, guys. Have a good day.
Kyle, appreciate you. I appreciate the hell out of Felix Campos. How about a 10 spot of channel memberships? Are you kidding me? Dropping $50 for the people. There's only one thing we could do to celebrate such an unbelievable gesture. We play this.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Who are you,
Let's
Bill Burr?
go.
Who are you, Bill Burr?
I am Bill Burr, baby. Bill Burr once played a disgruntled Jets fan in a movie.
Huh? What movie is this?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I present to Bobby, Mr. Robby Sabo himself, Bob Sabo, as I stall and try and find the clip. The king of Staten Island.
The Jets are going to come back. No, they're not. They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back.
Yeah, I know the movie. Yeah, I watched it.
Anyway, here we go. A 10 spot of memberships. You kidding me, Felix? Thank you, man. Really appreciate it. It's awesome. Best community in sports. Douglas Welsh, Brian Scantleberry, Triznick, Frank Whitmire, Brandon Harper, Butterscotch 201, Juan Suarez, Luke Spoletta, ADR, and Michael Caslin, all officially channel members. Let's go. Super chat here as we're going to wind down with Robby, because we've taken an hour of his time. From sneakers to boots. Robby, can Sherwood split reps during the season with Mosley, and thoughts on Clemens? Can he perform the JFM role? Stuck in SLC with the East Coast Storms. This plane needs to jet up for the meetup. Sneakers to boots. I hope I can meet you tomorrow night, man, assuming you can make it. Thank you for the Awesome super chat there. We'll start with the Sherwood point.
Yeah.
Can they find ways to get him on the field more this year if he continues to play this well?
It would be tough because, I mean, I think he needs an injury to Mosley or Quincy. It's one of those things where, okay, if Mosley's slipping a bit, which I don't know if he is, it's possible, but I don't know if he is. If he's slipping a bit, maybe they have Sherwood play nickel and Mosley play base, but it wouldn't make much sense because I think Sherwood might be better than him at both at this point. It's just the leadership stuff and the pre-snap stuff. So I think it might be tough to split. He's that third safety. When you're 4-3 in your base, you have him out there. So technically he's a starter. But yeah, nickel and sub, you just have two backers out there. In terms of Clemens and JFM, I mean, I guess he's effectively playing the JFM role. He's that bigger edge in run support in base in 4-3. And then when you go to nickel and dime, you get him off the field sometimes. Sometimes he's going to have to stay out there. And you get Reddick or McDonald out there. Or sometimes you have three edges out there, and watch out for that because I think there's going to be a lot of looks with three edges where JJ or McDonald are standing in the B gap. It's sort of a 3-man line with Reddick, McDonald, and Quinnen with JJ standing. So look for a lot of interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff indeed. Safe flight, Seekers of Boots. Hopefully your flight actually happens. Robbie, plug Jets X Factor. Plug the fact that Wayne Corbett on the podcast you guys do. You guys scored DJ Reed. That's a big one. Talk about that.
Yeah, DJ did. I think I'm sure a lot of the Asmaniacs have seen it. The Origins documentary that they're doing on the official Jets page. It's great. It's tremendous stuff. And his story, to me, it struck me similar to Corbett in a lot of ways. And I mean, not identically, obviously, but both guys are not crazy tall. They had to overcome size, a lot of heart. They had to battle through some things. So I think getting them on the same show together would have been an incredible thing. And it turned out to be that. So that was fun. Tonight, 7:00 live, me and Corbett are going to go live on the JetX YouTube and, become a member on the website, JetX, ad-free content, get all the content unlocked, audio versions for each article, all that good stuff. Use discount code 80 for a nice little discount.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
If you're a true American, you support Robby Sabo and Jets X Factor.
That's right.
That's right.
Hulk Hogan himself does. He's a true American, just like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Al Bundy.
Just like Devin Booker, who's being interviewed right now after Team USA basketball destroyed Brazil to advance to the semis in men's basketball.
Oh, I had my money on Brazil. Damn it.
Did you? I doubt that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robbie, excellent job. Appreciate it as always. I will see you in person on Thursday. I look forward to it.
Yes, sir. We'll chop it up. It should be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo, everybody. Robby Sabo, everybody. What a job. Make sure you guys check out jetsxfactor.com if you don't already. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content there from Sabo. He's as good as anyone, breaking down things that happen in practice that are beyond just the surface level. Oh, Rodgers completed pass to Garrett Wilson. Cool. What else happened? All right, we want the minutia. We want the details on the show. That's what Robbie provides. All right, let's open it up. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Gusbuster hotline remains open. Before I get to some of your super chats, let me pause to tell you why, if you are a football fan, and I suspect if you're watching this show, I'd imagine you're a football fan, why you should consider signing up to be part of Circa's Pro Football Contest.
We don't need gimmicks like giant checks and mascots to promote this year's football contest because we're giving away even more money than we did last year.
$16 million in guaranteed prizes to be exact. There's 2 ways to win and no rake.
Players in Circa Millions make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all. Visit circasports.com for details.
It's really simple. There's 16 million in guaranteed prizes. 6 in the Circa Million 6 Pro Football Contest, 10 in the Circa Survivor Asmaniacs. We will have an entry in the Circa Survivor. $1,000 of my money is going into this contest, and I need you guys every week to help me pick who we like in the Circa Survivor Pro Football Contest. If you want your own entry in any of these contests, circasports.com for all the info. These are the two best football betting contests in the country, really in the world. Let's be real. Circa's got the best sports book in the universe, the largest indoor and outdoor. Enough said. So check it out. Circasports.com. Felix Campos just became a chat. How about this? Felix gifted a 10 spot of memberships. He wasn't even a member himself. Are you kidding me? Felix, if you're not on Patreon, I got your membership covered. You messaged me off there, all right? Least we could do. Let's get you in there. Let's get you in the Discord if you're not already. And if you are, message me anyway. Let me send you some merch. That is incredibly nice of you, man. Appreciate your support. More of your calls right now. Let's go to Gary. Hello, Gary. Gary, please unmute your microphone. Okay.
My bad.
There you go.
Yeah, I was on. I had 10 things up. That's my bad. I wanted to talk to Robby Sabo about the one and only Mike Clemens on how good he must look at practice to be with the ones right now. And the kind of anti-Mike Clemens sentiment that this community shares. Is that being put to bed? Are we getting over the anti-Mike Clemens sentiment in this community?
Can he play better? I don't know. Like, I don't think anyone's anti-Clemens. He didn't have a good year last year after he flashed as a rookie. I mean, what do you want us to say about Michael Clemens? He's great because he happened to be born in the state of Texas. Is that what you want us to all say, Gary? Yeah.
It'd be a nice touch. And then, I really wanted to talk to Robby, but it's I guess I'll just make do.
Where's Decker? I don't want to tell you if we're going to play this game. I don't want to talk to you. I'd rather talk to either your nanny or your daughter. All right. Both are better than you.
Nanny's in Norman. She's far away, and Decker's with some friends across the street.
I'm just glad she got her teddy bear. That's all.
She loves it. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. And shout out to Carly too. And then the other thing he said, he was talking about Sabo was talking about the tweet from I'm losing my brain. The Nets fan on WFAM, Tiki and Evan.
Yeah.
And he had Joe Douglas. He had all the GMs ranked. I don't know the hockey guy, so I can't rate them, but he had Joe Douglas at the bottom ahead of only Sean Marks. And that was like, I guess that was supposed to be the hot take, which, I mean, if you're debating between Sean Marks and Joe Douglas, it's, you gotta get another hobby. I mean, neither one of those guys are competent at what they're doing.
How could we say Douglas is not competent when you yourself are picking the Jets to win 12 games, and you have said this is their most talented team they're putting on a field since 1998? How could you have that opinion and then still say Joe Douglas is incompetent? Has he been perfect? No. Has he made critical mistakes? If you've watched the show the last 3 years, we've documented all of them. But we also can't act like he's incompetent. He wouldn't be here right now.
How did Hassan Reddick look at practice today?
Okay, how's Hassan Reddick going to work? How's Hassan Reddick going to look week 1 against the Niners?
Hopefully really good. Hopefully this gets taken care of, Jake. Yeah. But it's wouldn't you, if you have a guy that's that drastically underpaid in the back 9 of his career where he's looking to get paid before it's over, wouldn't you kind of, take his temperature on where he is on this contract? Like, wouldn't that kind of be important when you're getting him for what looks like a steal? Now you don't even know what you're gonna have to pay him. Like,
but do we know he didn't? And Reddick's camp didn't renege on their agreement that he was going to show up and play, right? That's kind of what it sounds like happened here. I'm not excusing the Jets. I think it's a bad look by him. It's a bad look by Reddick. But I'm also not going to sit here and say it's terrible for Joe Douglas and the Jets. What if Reddick signs tomorrow? Then all of a sudden he's ready for week 1 and he helps you win on Monday night. What are you going to be saying then?
It's a good move. I mean, depending on what they have to pay him. I mean, look.
So can we wait? You can criticize Joe Douglas for many other things before you get on him for Reddick. Let's see how it plays out.
And that same thing, Sean Marks put together the most talented Nets roster I'd ever seen by a country mile, and it wasn't even close. And that didn't work out, right? And then he made it 10 times worse with every move that he made. So, like, anything that you credit Joe Douglas for, you could credit Sean Marks. And we both agree that Sean Marks is awful and he should have been fired 5 years ago, right? Like, we can agree on that.
Well, you have to win, though. And also, you can't compare the sports. It's completely different. The NBA is all about talent and superstars. And that, or maybe not so much anymore now with what, some of the past champions have done. But, like, that was the thought process then. Like, the Jets have been building for this year. It was supposed to be last year, but then the guy that they were going to rely on to fix the biggest mistake Douglas made, which was taking Wilson second overall, He lasted 4 plays. So, like, you still have to let this year play out, man. I mean, it's the same argument we always have. Like, I play the ones we've had now like 7 different times. I don't have it in me today.
All right. It's gonna. His fate is gonna be determined this year, one way or the other. The Jets win the Super Bowl, for better or for worse. He's got a city. He's got a key to the city for life, right? Like, he'll never be fired as GM. And if the Jets miss the playoffs, where that goes. So, yeah, his destiny is going to be determined for better or for worse. And same with Salah, who I like. It's going to be, if the Jets win the Super Bowl, if you guys hate Salah, guess what? He's your head coach for the foreseeable future, right? And they'll retire him. But yeah, it's going to be determined this year. And if it can't work this year, then it's time to blow it up, because it's not going to get better as these guys, as Tyron Smith, who's on a 1-year deal, gets older, as Aaron Rodgers. It's not going to get better. So it's like, to me, it's this year. It's got to be. And I feel good about this year. And now I feel really good about week 1, assuming Reddick plays with the news that's coming out of San Francisco. Feel good about week 1.
Well, here's the reality, right? To get next year, they got to win this year. Maybe not the Super Bowl, but they got to at least be a playoff team. I think win a playoff game, like win the division, like those are the expectations. Like, you can't say win the Super Bowl or it's a failed year. I don't agree with that. When you haven't even been in the game since 1969, I think that's a little crazy. That said, this is a big year, and if this GM and coach are going to be here beyond this year, this team's got to win, and that's a fair expectation.
Those other teams don't have anything to like. I said this to my friend who was a Red Sox fan, saying, "Oh, they're going to lose to Yankees in Game 7." It's like that. Those guys in the past have nothing to do with this team. The Jets' past has nothing to do. They didn't have Aaron Rodgers on that team, right? This is a completely different guy. And I say, like, if they go to the Super Bowl and lose, and you give me 2 weeks of like the best 2 weeks of my life, I'm going to go to New Orleans. Whether or not I can get a ticket, I'll figure it out when I get there. But I'm going to be there. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they lost in the Super Bowl. Like, I would say, oh, that sucks that we lost, but it'd be a hell of a ride that I would sign up for. But, like, let's shoot for the stars. Like, the team is as good as anyone. Super Bowl. Like, Super Bowl. Let's that should be the goal 1, 2, 3, and 4. Super Bowl. Anything else is a disappointment.
Are we sure they could win the Super Bowl without Brock Bowers, though?
It would have made life easier, Jake, but we're so good we can draft backups in the first round. So that's how I'm looking at it, right? That's how good we are. We're so good that we can draft backups in the first round.
I don't know. Olu's been starting these last couple of days. I don't think he's a backup right now.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't think he's a bad player, I should say. I'm sure he's a very good player. I just don't know how much he's going to contribute this year. If what happens last year to the offensive line happens,
you want to make a bet? Why don't we do this? I believe Olu Fashanu will be a better pro than Brock Bowers. All right? So we'll see how it plays out. But if that ends up being the case, where Olu is clearly the better pro than Bowers, you owe me a dinner. Okay. And vice versa. All right. We'll do a dinner bet, and we'll find out 10 years from now who's right. Maybe sooner if Brock Bowers is your typical tight end that's drafted in the top 10 that never pans out.
That's a reasonable bet to me. I'm sure we'll know within a couple of years on who's going to win that bet. But
all right. But here's the thing. If we get dinner, I'm already telling you where we're going. We're going to McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King, and you have to pick an item from there. You can't get gas station pizza.
So you're going to win a bet. Right. If I win, and you can have any meal you want, and you're going to pick fast food for $8.
Yeah. I want to see you eat it.
Good. I mean, that's now I really have nothing to lose in this bet. Okay.
Gary, excellent job.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
There'll be no gas station pizza on that night, folks. It was either that or we're going to go to an Italian restaurant. I'm going to take them like Patsy's. And we're going to have some chicken parm and pasta. Or maybe I'll ask my friend Chris, who's a big listener of the show, who took me to Carbone a couple weeks back, to get us a reservation there. We'll go all Aaron Rodgers and Sauce Gardner, and we'll take Gary to Carbone. Unreal. Devin with a super chat. Gary, chicken is amazing with pasta. Joey, 3 legs. Chicken is amazing with pasta. Everyone sing along.
Chicken doesn't go with pasta. Don't you know it's disgusting? Chicken can't go with pasta. Why? Because of the texture. Instead, go get yourself pizza at the closest Shell gas station, because chicken don't go with pasta. I just discovered dogs are pets.
I got some breaking Jets news I'll share with you guys first. Aaron Rodgers is something really, really cool for her. A big Aaron Rodgers fan today. All right, you'll see it on social media. But I want you guys to know Rodgers did the right thing for someone who's been on this show before and is the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan on the planet. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm teasing something major for you guys. All right. When I could share it, I'll play it. Holy crap. My eyes working? Is that a 20 spot from Felix? 20 channel memberships? Are you kidding me? A 20 spot? What?
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Holy hell. A 20 spot of channel memberships. It's raining, Felix. Oh, my God. My umbrella. Jeez. Stand by, people. Hold on. Oh my God, are you kidding me? It is raining channel memberships. Thank you to Felix. This is going to take some time to read here. Everyone stand by. We have 20 channel memberships to sort through. Ripple, Rockin' Rant, Swanil G. Patel, Sean, Henry Confidential, Sharif Inani, Giovanni Alicia, Duncan McLean, Grorazan, Anthony Muscarella, Mike Jets 12, Monkey Man Stain, Justin Davies, Call It Out, Azul Uke 11, Stephen James, Rockben 205, Trevor Ballinger, Jimmy from Seattle, Kilo 112, Alan S. Jurasta. You are all channel members. Holy crap. Felix, thank you, man. Wow. Unreal. Unreal. The Gusbuster is being put to good use. Will be put to good use later, as the Yankee game has already been canceled because of how bad the weather's supposed to be in the New York area. Wow. Unreal. Thank you, Felix. That's incredible. That's incredible. 20 spot right there. And Felix didn't even have a membership himself. Crazy. All right. Also, want to give some love right now to a member of the esteemed 4% female demographic. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to listener Peg of Peg and Artie. How about this? Look at this tweet I got. Rocking the Asmaniac t-shirt and the Jake Asman Show coffee mug. Let's go. Party with Peg and Artie. I'm throwing you guys the retweet right now. Boom. Thank you so much for your guys' support. Appreciate it. And make sure you are aware, Peg, that we have very specific 4% merch dropping in the store this Friday morning. It opens. A full line of Asmaniac and Jake Asman Show 4% female demo dropping in the store. The pink logo in each. So can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Carly ordered some of the stuff today in advance. So get ready. JakeAsman.com for all the merch. JakeAsman.com. Thanks to the support. Jose checks in. That green one is fire. Top left, right? Brand new. We have new shirts with the all black logo, the alternate logo, and the hoodie. A lot of people wanted white hoodie, black logo. We're making that happen for you. Black hoodie, white logo. That's in the store already. So now that matches. Also, shout out to Jose. You missed the announcement at the top of the show. Jose's family is the owner of Don Jose Mexican restaurant. And Jose is going to be serving all us Jet fans tomorrow night. If you're coming to our meetup, it's still on regardless of the Jets canceling, unfortunately, due to the weather, the open practice for fans tomorrow. But we'll be there tomorrow night at 7 in East Hanover. So I can't wait. Can't wait, as a former Jet linebacker who's a coworker of mine would now say. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. Comments, questions, super chats. Keep them coming. Get back to your calls right now. Let's go to Tommy, who's up next on the Gusbuster hotline. What's up, Tommy?
Plus. Hey, Jake. How are you, brother?
What's up, Tommy? Thanks for holding, man.
What's going on? Let me just put this on pause real quick. I know it always screws everything up. I got a couple points, man. How's everything going today?
Good, man. Good. Another day of Jets football talk, man. Can't wait for week 1.
Jets football, exactly. First of all, I want to talk off and say my prayers for Jake Quest's father, for Bobby in the hospital, and Jay always Keith Best. Like, you're always in my prayers. I pray about you before I go to sleep every single night. And I had to deal with my mom, who's going through a little bit of sickness, and she's been in the hospital, and she dealt through 2 battles of breast cancer and 2 battles of COVID, and she's still here, and she's like 65 years old. It's sad. It's like crazy how people can keep fighting and fighting, and if you believe in it, you're gonna keep living. But enough on that. I love all you jazz maniacs. I wish you all full health. Me included, you, Jake, you included. One thing that I really wanted to kind of point out is Jamien, his first name is Jamien Sherwood.
Jamien Sherwood, yep.
Right. He can easily take over CJ Mosley's spot this year if he really needed to. Like, that guy is a monster. I love the fact that we got him and the fact that we're paying him for what he has. Like, he's basically like another who we just got rid of to get this asshole who won't sign with us. We got rid of Huff. He's Huff. He's an undrafted free agent who we developed under our defensive coordinator.
He's not
made him
a couple things. He's out of UDFA. And he plays a different position than Huff. But once again, it is, to your point, another sign that this coaching staff on that side of the ball finds players, whether it's Huff, whether it's JFM, who was a waiver wire pickup, whether it's even Ashton Davis, who has gotten better each year. And it's not even just like the guys you haven't heard of, like Tony Adams, who's a UDFA, and he makes the team. Look how much better Quincy's gotten every year, where it culminates last year with him being first team All-Pro. I don't think it's a coincidence Sauce Gardner comes into the league. He's great right away. He was a top pick, but sometimes Derek Stingley wasn't great right away with the Texans. Like, it takes time, and these guys hit the ground running. Like, they're coaching on that side of the ball. DJ Reed was a nice player in Seattle. He has become a Pro Bowl level player with the Jets. Quinnen was really good, and then Salah's coaching staff got to work with him. He became an All-Pro player. Jermaine, year 1 year. We can do the whole defense. They are well coached on that side of the ball. Salah, I do not think he gets enough credit for that.
Don't cut me off yet. One more other point. I really believe Corley will be our number 3 slot receiver. Once Mike Williams come back, it'll be Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams 2, Lazard will be that whatever, but our slot receiver will be Mekhi Corley, because I feel that Gibson is too small. He's too skinny. He's too fragile. He's 5'10". He doesn't have a lot of weight to him. He gets one hard hit to a middle linebacker across his stomach, he'll be out for a week. Mekhi Corley will run into that middle linebacker and be like, let's go, let's keep going. You know what I mean? Like, that disagreement. I know he's a rookie. He has to prove himself, but I feel Malachi Corley will be our number 3 slot receiver and will tear it up because of the way that he plays. He's a monster. To be that slot receiver, you have to go across the middle and get hit by middle linebackers and safeties when you're not looking at it.
Maybe by the end of the year, Tommy, and thanks for the call, brother, I don't think it's right away. You know what I mean? Like, if Mike Williams is healthy, Sabo said it earlier, he's right. The starting 3 receivers week 1, Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, Allen Lazard, with Garrett probably playing a lot of slot. And in some packages, Gibson will be out there. Lazard will be on the sideline. They'll have their plays in the game plan for Corley. They're not going to just throw him out there and give him a full thing. They're going to have very specific things they want to do for Corley early on. Also, nobody is better at coming up with new names for Malachi Corley than Tommy. I think he called him like Macanucci one time. They came up with 3 right there on that call. Good stuff from Tommy, though. I don't disagree. But I don't think Corley's going to be like the guy right away. I think they're going to ease him in. Now, if he dominates in the preseason, obviously you adjust, right? Like, good teams adjust. All right, sometimes you got to get, mac and cheese Corley the football. All right. Hit the like button if you like mac and cheese. Snowball says, besides memberships, has it started raining in New York City? I have my curtains or my blinds closed, so I can't tell. It looks like it's gray out there. According to my Apple Watch, it hasn't started yet, but I don't know. I can't see. Macadamia Corley. Just reading the chat. Tom Ace, he's done it again, folks. He's done it again. Keith writes in with a super chat. He's been an Asmaniac for 4 months. Was planning on attending the meetup tomorrow. Got wasted on Sunday with my boys off the Henny. Came home trashed. My Don Jose pass got revoked. No way. Keith. That's tough, bro. How trashed are we talking? Like throwing up trashed? That's tough. The wife's got to rein you in, man. That's funny. Well, if you could convince her or you need me to talk to her, you call me, all right, Keith? I'll talk to your wife. I had to talk to Bonesy's wife once to get Bonesy to come to Vegas with me last year. I had field level seats for Mr. Bonesy. He was my guest at the Raiders game last year. And I had to talk to Mrs. Bonesy to get Bonesy approved. And then Neil had to gamble on the Cowboys to cover the spread against the Chargers on Monday Night Football to pay for Bonesy's flight. So let me talk to your wife, Keith. We'll make it happen. All right. And I want to make it clear. It's me talking to your wife, not Bobby talking to your wife. Because if Bobby talks to your wife, I mean,
calm your freaky down.
We know how that's going to go. Hit the like button. Open phone lines. I got a couple minutes left. I'll stay on. Ask me anything jet related, sports related, the whole thing. Hey, big shout out to Brian B, who just purchased something in the merch store. I just got the alert. We're sending merch to Gaithersburg, Maryland. A coffee mug is on the way. The coffee mug, look, I love the coffee mug. It's great. I have all 3 sizes. This is the 20 ounce. It's huge. I recommend the 15 ounce for your, standard cup of coffee. The coffee mug has been the biggest seller in the merch store so far, which is awesome. Appreciate it. Let's see. David says that's a great coffee mug. You got one, David. You showed it off this morning. I appreciate it. The coffee or whatever liquid you put in the Jake Asman mug tastes better. It's a guarantee from me. Dave says Bobby's chasing the nurses. He might. For those who tuned in late, Bobby Midnight is in the hospital, and he called us from the hospital, and it was electric. You got to rewind if you missed that one. David says, you do any soccer, Jake? No. I don't. What does that mean? Do I watch any soccer? Like, I will watch the World Cup, I guess, like Team USA. Because unlike V-Man, I'm an American who roots for my country. But I don't really watch soccer now. Too many sports, man. Big fella says 20 ounce is just the right size. It's big, man. I mean, you're the big fella, so if you like the 20 ounce, I'm in. Purple Belt Mike says the pint glass is the best. Pint glass is great. Mark says, Jake, Captain Jalen Brunson. Yeah, we talked about it earlier when it happened, Mark, on the first show. I love it, man. You know, the Knicks haven't had a captain since Lance Thomas. I didn't even realize that. I guess they just haven't named one in years. I love it. Jalen Brunson, captain of the New York Knicks. And let's just say his run to greatness all started when I stood behind him before a Knicks game in April. Where's Jake? Oh, there he is. Watch the little hair adjustment here. I didn't know it being filmed. That's Captain America right there. That's Jalen Brunson. Are you kidding me, Felix? Oh, my God. A 10 spot? So Felix gave us a 10 spot, which is $50. A 20 spot, which is $100. And another 10 spot, which is $50. Felix, you are the man. You better message me off air and tell me what I'm getting you in the merch store. My treat. Whatever you want. We're sending you every mug in the merch store. My goodness. Let's go, Felix. Yeah. I don't feel like getting the umbrella again, but what I can do is this.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. and I shoot all you motherfuckers, and then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Yeah, buddy. Here we go. 10 from Felix, Uriah Trailer, Ivo DeNicholas, MM Morris, Javier Santos, Nando, NY Jets Man Cave, Atlanta Jets fan, Gilbert Farmer, Joel, all officially channel members. Felix going full Mike D's nuts, going full Sprague Spree, King and Dreams, Rick Kent. Felix, you're the man. Thank you so much, my friend. Please message me. He wrote in earlier. I just saw this. LOL, love the show. Appreciate the laughs. Don't always catch it live, but when I do, I like to show the love. Thank you, Felix. That means a lot. Oscar writes in, Jake, is the lane chat with Carly on the t-shirt real, or is that Gator AI? I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that was Gator AI. All right. Now, some of these items aren't half bad, I will say. The lane train teddy bear, not bad. Gary's wife on a coffee mug. Scott on a bucket hat. Bobby's orange. We do need a Bobby on an orange chair shirt. That's my next thing I want to work on. All right, because Gator already has the video of him sitting in the chair in emoji form. We put that on a shirt, that's going to fly off the shelves of the merch store. So we will work on some of the fun stuff. All right? But for those who maybe were away from the show, the initial drops for the merch store was just basically logo stuff. Asmaniac and Jake Asman show logo. And then as we get more and more into the season, then we're going to have some of the fun stuff. But I wanted to make sure we got all the logo stuff out first. Kind of get us rolling here. All right. I mean, we got the hats, the hoodies, tumblers. The polo shirt is great. JakeAsman.com/shop. The big fella says, you need a big fella blanket. That's a big blanket. Dana with an interesting question here. Jake, if you ever had to cover a team again like you did the Texans, what team outside the AFC East would you least want to cover? And what one, not named the Jets, would you most want to cover? I'd want to cover the Giants so I could stay in New York because New York's home. This is where I want to be. If I had to cover a team outside the AFC East, what would be the least? Probably Seattle because it's the farthest. Right? I don't want to move to the Pacific Northwest. Trying to think. Seattle came to mind right away. Yeah, I'll stick with that. If my answer changes, I'll let you know. Addison wants V-Man toilet lid covers. All right, why don't we do this? Write in your funny merch ideas. Like a V-Man toilet lid cover, maybe something we have to explore. John B writes in, dude, I'm stuck on my road bike under a tree watching the show, getting me through the storm. Wish I had a Gustbuster. Gustbuster.com, John. Sorry you're stuck in the rain. Someone wrote, Jake, you're missing a 10 spot. We just got to it. FPP. Jake, you missed a 10 spot. We got to Felix's 10. I'm looking for more, but I think we got to it. Kyle writes in, why no Martian yet in the Bronx, Jake? Sit Verdugo down. I think it's coming, Kyle. I do think it's coming. I think they're trying to get Dominguez right first. You know, let him get it. He's barely played this year, right? He was rehabbing his initial injury and then got hurt, suffered a setback, another injury. I think it's coming. I think that's their plan eventually to get him in the outfield. I think Dominguez is a big part of their plans. Dave says, Jake covering the Giants. No way that would kill us. Well, I kind of cover them now, guys. There's I don't cover, when I covered the Texans, I wasn't a beat reporter like I'm Rich Cimini. I was a talk show host in Houston. When I'm on ESPN New York, guess what I led my show with when I did Morning Drive on Friday? We did the first hour on John Mara's comments about Saquon Barkley. So, you know, I cover all the New York teams in that sense. You know? I would never be a beat reporter, though. You'll never find me working for the Jets or being, you know, having Costello or Cimini's job or Nick Faria. I don't want to be a writer. You don't get to be a fan. I'm a talk show host. I want to give opinions. I want to scream at the top of my lungs when the Jets win games this year. All right? Is it Monday Night Football yet?
Is Brock Purdy going to run for his life on the opener? Fuck yeah! He's going to die. Let's go. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
Green and white pinstripes writes in. How about a set of Gary's soundproof earplugs so we don't have to hear Gary's bad takes? I like that. Inspired by Gary. The Jake Asman Show earplugs. Trevor says, Asmaniac lampshades. Send those to Bobby Midnight. Let's see. Tom Ace writes in, more sports. I'm talking sports on my phone. Lane. Lane's the best. Great call by Lane yesterday. Oh, no, this is morning. We had like a Hall of Fame stretch of calls on the first show today with O'Leary. I think if memory serves me right, it was B-Mac, Lane Train, B-Man. Right? I think it was. Big fella. Bobby Midnight Toy Trades. That's funny. David says, does it kill you to have to talk about the Rangers? Not really. I mean, you know, I can handle it. That's why I like being a sports talk show. You get to be a fan. I don't have to root for the Rangers. I can have opinions on them without rooting for them. Daniel Murphy says, Jake could sell caskets with Purdy's face on them. Oh, my God. Yeti says, can you make adult diapers with Allen on them? Terrence writes in, put someone's face the fans here don't like and put it on toilet paper. Allen, JJ, and Hawk toilet paper. Coming to the merch store near you. David says, Asmaniac kites. Una says, you need Asman lighters. Can we do lighters? I don't know how to do that. Rat Diddy says, we need Gator's grill on some merch. We do. Gator as fake Asman or just Gator? Tommy says, yo, Jake, let me call in real quick. Tommy, yo, you're on the air real quick.
Jake, brother.
Yes, Tommy.
Can you hear me? I don't have my headphones in.
Oh, we hear you.
You hear me fine? Everything's good?
Yes.
All right. Yo, Saturday night, right? My ex-wife's crazy, so I only got to watch like 40 minutes of the game, but Barcelona played Real Madrid at MetLife Stadium, JetLife Stadium, I call it. I was the only one there rocking this jersey. My number, I don't have it on right now. I'm sorry, it was dirty. But I was rocking number one, my boy, oh my God, my brain is fried. Sauce Gardner jersey, right? And everyone's chanting at me, this is the wrong sport. And I was like, I was with my two kids, right? And it was the first time I saw them in like 2 years. And I was like, I don't really give a shit. This is our stadium and we're playing here for the next 9-10 weeks. And I was like, let's get it going, boys. I waited for all the Madrid and all that. Barcelona, I think, won 2-1. I didn't give an F about soccer. But I'm like, the only one there in a football jersey. And I'm like, this is our stadium. And I'm like, Dad, don't do it. My son's like, don't do it. I'm like, all right. Everyone's chanting Madrid. And I go, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. And they're all talking to me in Spanish, and they said, this is the wrong sport. And I said, I really don't give a shit. This is our stadium. We own it, and I love to see my family, and I just represent the Jets wherever I go. Thank you for letting me back on, Jake. Have a great night, brother.
What's the
Yep.
what's the deal with your ex-wife? Why is she crazy?
Oh, because she literally wanted to go in it because the kids are under 18, so they couldn't get in themselves. So they needed an adult. My mom bought the 3 tickets. She doesn't want to go, so she's trying, or she wanted to go. She wanted to bring either a boyfriend or a friend or something. She had no one to go with her. So it was stuck at the last minute. I'm sitting there with my brother at Home Depot. Like, it's good that it's close by. But she's like, can you please go just accept the ticket? I literally had to have my daughter, who's 9 years old, come up, scan the ticket on her. The guy was like, can't she just transfer it to your phone? I'm like, it's not, it's just fucking, sorry my language. But then I had to go through my mom's email and get her password and all that. Just scan the ticket. I'm making sure my daughter goes back to her mom, and I'm going in to meet my sons that are in 306. And then when I got in, I was at 354. So it took me 20 minutes to basically get to 306.
Well, Tommy, I'm glad you represented Jet Nation. All right, well done. Tommy calling back. Ladies and gentlemen, Felix Campos, again, 10 channel memberships. This is unreal. Ladies and gentlemen, free stuff.
Free stuff.
Here we go. Daniel Nieves, Antonis, Helen, Matt Whalen, Big Bert, Vince Milton, Josh Frischman, Luis Rivas, Sebastian Diaz, Kylie Medina. Hold the onions. All channel members. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Also, how do I word this? What is it, BAC? What's the BAC in Tommy's body right now? That's my thought on that call. Tom A suggests Neil pool floaties. Let's do it. Carly Fleischer suggests Fleischer Fanatic shirts. Print the shirts. Daniel Murphy writes in, print out that chart that you show all the time and frame them. I'd buy one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zach Wilson quarterback efficiency chart. You might be saying, well, wait, Jake, I'm looking at this chart you have on the screen. I can't find Zach Wilson on the chart. And I would say, yeah, here's why you can't find him, Daniel. Because your name is covering him. That is why. Also, speaking of Zach Wilson, last night, I talked about this on the first show. I had nightmares, all right? So I mentioned it earlier for those tuning in. T-Squared Social was nice enough to invite me to the Aaron Boone event they did with Talkin' Yanks. So T-Squared Social has simulators that have every sport. Naturally, as a football fan, I wanted to play the football simulator, the quarterback simulator. And I brought Carly along for the ride. And, man, you tell me which quarterback this reminds you of, Jet fans.
Wait, you can't post it unless I do a good one.
Okay, Zach Wilson. Okay, Zach Wilson. Back to back. You really are, Zach.
My receivers are not helping at all.
He stinks.
I mean, just brutal, man. I mean, not going through the progressions, just chucking it up. It was like the Pats home opener, Zach's rookie year all over again. Terrible. I mean, give me a break. Off. We'll give her credit. Football's not her sport. Hockey might be. Whoa! T-Squared Social, all these simulators, the bays are open for everyone in attendance to enjoy. So come on down. It's going to be a blast, folks. I promise you we're going to have a great night. RSVP if you haven't. Seeing T-Squared in person last night. I've been there before, but seeing T-Squared during an event that featured the manager of the New York Yankees. Pretty cool. Thanks to T-Squared for having us. We'll see you guys there in 10 days? August 17th. It was a great night besides the Zach Wilson memories I was getting painted last night. Ugh. All right, more calls before we wrap. Geez, another 2-hour show here. It's not like I have anything to watch tonight, though. There's no Yankee game. What am I going to do tonight? I finished Game of Thrones this morning. What a terrible season ending to House of Dragon. Awful. Damn. Dave wants to know odds when Denver will cut Zach. Look, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to cut him. Maybe they keep him, but they're going to carry 3 quarterbacks. Probably not, though. I think by the end of the preseason. Man. Trevor says Carly has the wide receiver open to the left twice and she throws it to the same spot. She didn't read the progressions, man. Maybe physically, right? Physically, she might have the talent. But it was just like watching Zach. It's like, yeah, Zach Wilson physically has all the talent in the world. You don't get picked second overall by accident. But it's all between the ears. You couldn't process. Man. Gator writes in Chiefs fan neighbor shirts. Could you imagine if we printed those shirts for Chiefs fans' dead neighbor, Gator? Are you sick? Well, the answer is yes. For those who are maybe new to the show, we have a great caller who works at Denny's until he leaves that job and goes to a different job like he seemingly does every other week. But the great Chiefs fan, he once called in after his team won the Super Bowl. So we're thinking, man, we got a guy who watches the show who was a Chiefs fan. He must be excited. Wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is none other than Chiefs fan. Hello, Chiefs fan.
Yo, last night I was outside talking and I walked over and checked on my neighbor and I found out my neighbor passed away in his lawn chair. So
this call was not going where I thought it was going. Chiefs
well,
fan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
the old man had bladder problems. Let's just say that he was 90s. He didn't take his medication, and he was going to smoke a cigar with me, but he wasn't there.
Is it a real story?
This is a real story.
And he passed away on his lawn chair in the middle of the Super Bowl.
Walked inside of his house, checked on his dog, poured a shot of vodka, and I'm like, this isn't going to be enough. Chugged about 1/4 of the vodka that we usually drink. I'm like, the old man had to die during the big game. But yeah, I was happy we won.
Yeah, hey, Chiefs fan, congrats on the Super Bowl win, man. Congrats on the Super Bowl win, man. I don't know what to say. I figured this was going to be a celebratory call for the great Chiefs fan. And it was not that. No, it was not. It was most definitely not. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls before we wrap. A near 2-hour show. I think I did 2 hours this morning. So 4 hours of content. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, I'm convinced you all hate me. Also, apparently we're having audio issues. That's because I'm using this Fakakta mic because we're trying different things because I'm tired of people complaining about the audio. So I'm doing my best, people. Believe me. It's not me. It is StreamYard, but we're working through it. Keanu, up next. What's up, Keanu?
Hi, Jake. No deaths to report with this phone call, so I'm not going to be able to do what Chiefs fan did. But I did want to mention something that I just saw on that chart that you show all the time. Aaron Rodgers is just in front of Josh Allen, like just above him and to the right. So we have the best quarterback in the division.
Yes,
better than Josh Allen. Definitely better than Tua or whoever the Pats have.
Well, to be fair, though, Aaron's also coming off injury and he's a year older, right? We haven't seen him play as a Jet outside of 4 plays. His last year in Green Bay, he was good. He wasn't the MVP the 2 years prior. So we'll see. I think he's going to be very good, though. I'm with you. You want to say Allen's better? People can make that argument. That's fine. All I know is the Jets have beaten the Bills head-to-head each of the last 2 years with Zach Wilson at quarterback. They should be able to do it with Aaron Rodgers.
100%. I do have a question to ask you, though. How many 100-yard games do you think Garrett Wilson will have this year? So he had 2 last year. He did it in the Texans game and I think the Giants game.
say.
And
I'll
I
say
think
10.
he had 3 his rookie year. You think 10? So he's done it.
Why not?
He's done it 5 times his career so far. If he doubles that, I was thinking 6 or 7. There's a little prop bet on my book.
I think 10. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I could see it happening. I think he's the best player on the team.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to be a third or fourth best receiver in the league.
I think he's a guy that is capable of having that type of year with Rodgers feeding him the ball. I mean, it could happen. 10 maybe is a little too much. I'm sounding like Dre, I guess, a little bit. But like 7 or 8, I don't think is out of the question.
100 yards every game and 26 touchdowns, right? Or is it 28? I can't remember.
Yeah, you shorted Garrett by 2. Dre is predicting 28.
28, huh? So by that logic, they're in the playoffs, and then he'll get probably more than that in the playoffs. So he'll probably be the first ever Jet receiver to have 30 touchdowns in a season. He'll have more touchdowns this year than Zach Wilson in all of his years combined, and he's a quarterback.
28 touchdowns or bust, baby. Tom Ace knows.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see that. I would, as the biggest Garrett Wilson super fan on planet Earth, I would die a happy man if he ever did that.
Are you coming to my event on August 17th, Keanu? Because we're giving away a signed Garrett Wilson football.
When I found out you were giving that away, I was like, shh, I want to come so bad. I obviously I wanted to come before that, but you're giving away a Garrett Wilson football. Hell yeah. But unfortunately it's quite the hike for me from Ohio to the city. T-Squared Social is awesome though, man. Your fans are going to have a blast.
Yeah, it's a great spot, man. I'm sorry you can't be there, but I'm sure I'll see you at a game this year. I can't wait.
Oh, I'll be at plenty of games this year. I hope to see you, Jake.
Keanu, great call. Ladies and gentlemen, we said this guy's name, and he immediately said, here's what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to call in, and I'm going to explain to everyone why this idea that 28 touchdown island is not real. Well, guess what? Not only is it real, but I would argue, according to this guy, it is spectacular.
Hey, Dre, what do you think about Brock Purdy?
He's going to die.
Hello, Dre.
Hello, Jake. My brother, how you doing? So I apologize for the audio. But I had to call in. I felt a disturbance in the force. And all of a sudden, I was like, someone has invoked 28 touchdown TD Island. Let's go. Let me embark on this sacred mission, this pilgrimage all Jet fans need to make to 28 touchdown Island. We've got beautiful weather. We don't get hurricanes. It is enchiladas and heaven on earth kind of living. That's how it has been, and that's how it was supposed to be. And damn it, this year, that's how I'm going to live. I'm living on this beautiful island. And if it doesn't come true, I'll have to settle for a Super Bowl. It seems like that's a win-win situation to me. That's all I'm saying. Who's with me? He's going to die.
Dre, your internet was not great. Much better in the office, but we got your point. Tom Ace, the Jake Asman Wi-Fi hotspot coming to the man. If we could get every caller their own personal Wi-Fi hotspot, it'd be great. That's No Ghost goes real and spectacular. Love the Seinfeld quote. I'm glad you caught that. That's No Ghost. Thank you. I slip a lot of those in the show. Not everyone gets them. Dre, I love you, man. I'll tell you what, though. If Garrett doesn't score 28 touchdowns, if he scores half that, it's an amazing season. He's on the all-pro team if he does that. All right, let's make that clear. The big fella writes in, Jake, you need to sell JJ crap-ass phones. And just get an Android. Dun. All right, more calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap soon, so last chance to be a part of the program. Legacy Green is on the line. What's going on, Legacy Green?
Jake, my brother. It's great to see you, man.
What's up?
Just calling in. Just wanted to let you know your show is awesome. I really enjoy it. I became a fan last year when when Aaron Rodgers was coming here. I was looking for content, found your show, and I've been a fan ever since. You guys are great.
Thank you. Is it your first time calling in?
Yes, it is my first
Love
time.
it, man. Welcome aboard. What took you so long?
I don't know. I just kind of sit back. I like to comment and make little snide comments and stuff like that. Try not to be too mean, but mostly I just felt like calling in today. Just got off of work, and I'm ready to talk to you guys. And
I love it.
I missed most of the show because of work, but I wanted to call in and say hi for once.
Where are you based out of? Are you in the New York area?
Yeah. I live in Green Lawn.
Very nice. Well, if you can make it to any of our events, I'd love to meet you in person this year.
The next one you have out on Long Island, I'll definitely be there.
I got you. There'll be more on Long Island. Don't worry.
All right, I'll be there. Promise.
All right. Give me a record prediction. How many games are the Jets winning?
I think we should go 12-5.
I'll take it. AFC is champs.
I think the team looks really good. I mean, they got on paper, it looks great. As long as they stay healthy, we'll be awesome. I can't wait. I need to see a Super Bowl.
I feel that. Legacy, great job by you, man. Call back anytime, all right?
You got it, my friend. Have a great day.
Legacy Green checking in. How about that? We see him in the comments often. Now we put a face to the name. Tremendous job by Legacy Green with his first call there. Great connection, too. It's amazing. The first-time callers usually have better reception than some of our regulars. And he's a Strong Island guy. Let's go. Hit the like button if you like that call. 298 people watching, which is incredible because I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. 279 likes. Let's get those likes up. Pound for pound kicks. How many pick sixes is Sauce getting this season? I'll give you a prediction. Sauce gets his first pick six of his career this year. So I'll say he'll get one. I think he'll finish with 4 or 5 picks on the year, though. I think he's going to have a tremendous. I think we'll talk about Sauce like he's in the DPOY conversation. You know, that because I think they're going to let him shadow a little more. He's going to get thrown on just naturally a little bit more than he has in the past because teams are not going to be trying to run out the clock against the Jets. Right? They're going to be having to throw because they're going to be trailing. So that's how I look at it. J-Man says, Jake, I've been a member before, but I don't know how to turn gift receipts back on. Here's how you do it. Click on someone who's gifted a membership. Today, it's been Felix, right? Click on Felix's membership at the top of the chat where it says top chat, and then click turn on gift receipts. You can't get a membership, though, unless you're subscribed to my channel, you like this video, you comment, you watch. They give the memberships based on the algorithm assigning it to the most engaged listeners. Unless your name is JQuest, then you never get one, which we can't solve. Well, that's how it's done. Anyone going to make it rain before we wrap up here? We've added 59 members in this show. 59. Unreal. Felix Campos, baby. 10, 20, 40, 41, 51. All from Felix. Unreal. Dick Chibney gave us one. Devin gave us one. I mean, unbelievable. There was a 5 spot I'm missing, too. Darth Crypto gave us 5. There it is. Unreal. It's raining heavy in the New York area. It's raining heavy on this show today with memberships. Pound for pound kicks with a super chat. Breece, 2,500 total yards. Wilson, 28 touchdowns. Rodgers, 4,000 passing yards with 40 touchdowns. Sauce, 5 pick sixes. Jets, 14-3. Let's go. 14-3. That looks like 20-0 to me. Also, I don't think the math makes sense if Rodgers only has 4,000 yards passing, but Garrett has 28 touchdowns. And Breece, 20. How many rushing yards is Breece having of that 2,500? Let's see. Omar writes in. Hello, Jake from the Bay Area. Can't wait for week 1. Anyone coming out here to the West Coast? Let's go, Omar. Bring us home a W. Or I guess you live there, so. How about watch a W and then rub it in the face of all the people in your life who root for the Niners? Yeah, we do have a bunch of Asmaniacs going that game, Omar. I don't know if you're a Patreon member, but I would recommend you join the Patreon, get in my Discord channel, and you can see we have a tab for each game where people are writing what games they're going to, planning meetups, especially for the road games. So if you're going to be there, obviously, Check the Discord. We have meetups for week 1. We got people going. Dano says, Jake, you landed a 20-minute interview with Brunson, Judge, or a Jet of your choice. Who are you choosing? Aaron Rodgers, next question. Come on, man. It's a Jet channel. I got the biggest Jet channel in the world. Got almost 40,000 subs. We got to get Aaron on the show. Now, obviously, I wouldn't turn down Brunson or Judge either. I'm a diehard Knicks and Yankee fan. Love both those guys. Those captains. Shout out to Brunson getting the honor today. But we're taking Rodgers. Rayhan says Felix is the man. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Let's see. That's no ghost writes in. I listen to the shows while at work illegally. They don't know I have headphones in. I work at Cremerica Industries. It does contain a chicken. Well played. I used to work at Vandalay Industries. That's no ghost. I was a latex salesman. Big fella, next emoji idea. Carly in a Zach Wilson jersey. We're trying to move on from the Zach Wilson era, big fella. You're not helping. Ryan says, Jake, you must land Sean O'Malley for a UFC interview. Would love O'Malley. If I get a chance, I'd love to do it. Rob V, big shout out to our captain, Jalen Brunson, everyone. Let's go. I'm telling you, Jalen Brunson became the all-time great he was when I stood in the same camera shot he was on for a Knicks playoff game this year. Last chance to get in. I'm going to wrap it up here shortly. Appreciate everyone tuned in live. If you tuned in late, I want to say this again. The Jet practice tomorrow, due to weather being awful, has already been canceled for fans. The Jets aren't even allowing media to go to practice tomorrow. They'll have Salah and players available over Zoom, but no in-person practice for even the media to watch. That being said, our event tomorrow is still on at Don Jose Mexican Restaurant. It starts at 7. A couple spots remain. If you want to come out, let me know. We can't have hundreds of people there, but we do have room for a couple more people who want to stop by. You don't need to stay for the whole thing. It starts at 7. We'll be there till 10. Come hang. Enjoy some great Mexican food. Support a fellow Jet fan-owned business. Join me and Richie. And then I'll be at the joint practice on Thursday. Hopefully the weather's good for that. And we can watch the Jets kick the crap out of the commies. Curly says, you think they'll have practice on Thursday for the fans? I hope so. I don't know what the weather is like. I think it's supposed to be better than it is tomorrow, but we'll see. Rob says, Jake, if I can make it, do we need a ticket or just come? RSVP with the link I have in the description, Rob, but you could just come. Ryan says, do you pick the UFC fighters you interviewed, or does ESPN set that up? I go through the UFC PR. I got a good relationship with the people over there. So they'll pitch me guys. And, you know, when I can do it, I want to do it. It's just sometimes it's tough with the schedule. Carly says, Richie is a legend. Yes, he is. Carly met Richie when we went to camp together on Saturday. And shout out to Richie and Mr. Mallara. I don't even know. I just know him as Richie. Richie's last name starts with an it's Mallara or Malora. Mollura. He's just Richie from Jets Media. I don't even know how to say his last name. Shout out to his dad. We're hanging out with him too. Reese writes in, all the Asmaniacs are legendary. I agree. We got the best listeners in sports, man. Where else are you finding a community like this one? You can't. It doesn't exist. Yeti writes in, cheese and rice, Jake. Is this a mini Bobby marathon show? Every time I get to my work truck, you're still on. Love you, man. To honor Bobby Midnight, who is in the hospital right now, I am now doing a 12-hour stream. You heard it here first. Now, this is going to end soon. I'm just enjoying the comments. Ryan writes in, I just received my Jake Asman Show white tee. It's awesome. Let's go, Ryan. Thanks for buying the stuff on the merch. Love it. Thanks for your support, Ryan. Thanks to everyone who bought merch. I try to say it as much as I can, but it's amazing. It really is incredibly gratifying for people to want to buy stuff with the show logo on it or the Asmaniac logo. Best fans. 3 Siblings says 24-hour stream. One of these days we might. One of these days we might. Anyway. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Fun show. Thanks to Bob Sabo, Robby Sabo of JetX, jetsxfactory.com, for joining us in the first hour of the show. Everyone keep your thoughts and prayers with Bobby Midnight and with Jay Quest and his family. His dad's going through a hard time right now. Shout out to Keith Best as well, who had a great call on the first show earlier today. Once again, thank you all for the support. Here's my plan for tomorrow, since I'm not going to practice because it doesn't exist anymore. I will do a show in the morning. Then I will head over to Jersey. Most likely, assuming the New Jersey traffic is not brutal, we'll try and squeeze in a 45-minute show in the late afternoon before the event at 7 in East Hanover. So show in the morning, potentially an afternoon show, schedule permitting. We'll give you your 2 shows. We got the meetup tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to meet many of you in Jersey. Can't wait to meet many of you at what I hope will still happen, a joint practice on Thursday. So looking forward to that coming up. Reminder to join the Patreon. Best way to support the show by going to patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. You get discounts on all the merch. Bonus shows not on YouTube. I posted 4, I think, in the month of July that were just on Patreon, not on YouTube. You get access to the show in audio form. So check it out. Also, according to Ricky, Jake, you said it. Melora, you said it right. There we go. I got Richie's name right. He's not the best. Is someone came up to my camp was like, Jet Media. His first name Jet, last name Media, apparently. Anyway. Thank you all for your support. Shout out to all the Asmaniacs out there. You guys are great. JETS, 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 Jets. I'll talk to you guys soon. Hit the subscribe. Hit the like. Stay safe. Stay dry. Get your Gustbuster. And let's go Jets.
Back to back. You really are, Zach.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's flailing his arms like this off air. Only I'm the one who could see it. There could be only one man who's flailing his arms like that. And that man is Bobby Midnight.
Well, I've grown to love my buddy Alan, but South S has to go. I threw him off my show. I'm Bobby.
I forgot to wish your dad a happy birthday to him. Would you like me to sing a happy birthday song to him?
Actually, I would. This is a great idea.
Yes. You got to put me center square. What's his name again?
Steve.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Steve. Happy birthday to you. And you're awesome, man. How's that?
That was tremendous. Addison, are you kidding me? At the buzzer, the show was over. The show was supposed to be over. Felix, 5 more? Are you kidding me? Good thing I stuck around and didn't just end the show right after the Bobby cut. Good God, you guys are the best. This is insane. We're back. Addison's membership. JC Medina. Felix, 5 more memberships. You kidding me? Greg, Ken Burgos, Big Rush, Matt Shaw, Will Collins, all officially channel members. Felix, I'm going to check my phone after this. DM me. Oh, my God. Addison, another 5? This is insane. We sometimes go weeks without getting the amount of memberships we just got in the last 30 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 more from Addison. Holy crap. Justin Jokin, Jet Up 22, JETS Pauly, Eric Schmidt, Zach Holmes. Incredible. Wow, that is wild. Thank you, guys. Seriously, Addison, you're the man. Felix, I mean, what more can I say? I mean, what we've seen from Felix is it's the stuff of legends. Unreal. All right. Rod V says, I need that membership back. Make sure you have receipts turned on. I'm actually going to end the show now, though. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the support. Seriously, you guys are the best. Let's go, Jets. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Looking forward to the meetup and everything else I just said 2 minutes ago when I thought the show was over, but it's actually not. But this time it is. Or is it? I guess we'll find out. Go Jets.
One of my first cards was in the 90s, the quarterback who went down with the ACL.
What was the hand for? I don't understand. It sounded like that was part of the story.
Oh, I do that.
You look like you have a massive hand.
No,
I mean, that's impressive, I guess.
ADHD, Brian. That's something that
what does it have to do with your hand?
Us 90 kids do a lot of dumb shit. But like, all I know is I studied the Jets quarterback play over the years, and then that's what I started to do as a kid, and then I got into football.
RELAX. Relax.
Addison, you're done. You're done. Stop it. Another membership to 100 miles per hour. Thank you, man.
It's a Power Boy.
I haven't played that in a while. All right, we're done. Thank you, Addison. For real. I think we're actually done. Go Jets. You guys want another clip, or can I end the show? We want another clip. Another clip? Okay, here we go.
Hey, guys, guess who's with me now?
Oh, Bubby.
It's the girl who makes my freaky roll.
Oh, Bubby.
She's the only one I let sit on my chair.
Oh, Bubby.
With her beautiful face and her long blonde hair.
Oh, Bubby. I mean, you know I'd stop by more often if you clean up this mess.
Oh, Sarah.
Is that an old ham sandwich over there, Bubby?
Yes, Sarah.
Do you think I'm prettier than 3D Gary, Bubby?
Of course, Sarah.
Because you said he's good looking with his long, sweet hair.
Oh, Sarah. I thought it was his wife.
Calm your freaky down.